All right, traders, welcome into another mighty recap. Earlier week recap today, as I need to head off. But it's Friday. It's been a very successful week. A very tricky pre-market session today. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we had the one stock. There were a bunch of pop and drops, and if you weren't light on your feet, and if you didn't have the ability to jump from one stock to another, I don't think there was a clean, stock today. Um, I did do a good job of bouncing around between stocks, and that's why I'm green. But for most of the day, I was sitting red, or pretty much break even. As you can see, this is my day. I'm up $2,500. Definitely very grateful for another good week, another 12K week. Today was looking almost like a red day, and I had already accepted it was a red day. But then just before the market opened, I had a nice trade, as you can see, $1,300 on stock STKH. So how about we start with that ticker? By the way, I unwound my Tesla swing trade. This relief bounce is pretty solid so far. And I just don't like the daily chart anymore. Um, you know, I just feel like people are shorting into this high, lower high because it's probably going to downtrend for, I don't know, a few months before it reclaims the 200 EMA again. I know that people that were stuck like myself were unwinding also on this pop, and I know also swing traders that bought down here are selling for profit. So definitely feel like there's an imbalance to the sell side right now. Um, RT is live right now in the chat room. He's doing our classic calls. If you want to be a part of the chat room and join these calls, join, right? They're a lot of fun, and you get to network with elite traders and like-minded individuals. This is also the same chat room that I live stream. I just turned off the live stream just a few minutes ago. But anyways, I was sitting here pre-market, not liking the fact that again, there was a stock that moved at 4 a.m. Let me delete these notes. Oops. That's just me going over some commentary when I'm doing the live stream. All right, so we sat down, and the first thing I saw on the scanners was Guido. He had no news, and it was already extended, and the move started at 5 a.m. I like participating on fresh stocks because I get to see the entire price action play out, and only like that, um, I get a better gauge of the storyline between shorts and longs. When are they stuck? When are they not? When are longs in control? When are shorts in control? And when I don't have that, I don't know. I go from trading the trader to only trading the technical, which is fine. But if you're trading the technical setup and then on top of that, you understand what is the trader on the other side thinking, that's when you got it, right? Actually, I should come up with a brand new concept here. We got fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and trader analysis. I should make a whole book about this and sell it to you, right? I'm kidding. Um, well, am I? Anyways, what I mean by that, there's already a very good book called Trade the Trader, that if you haven't checked that out, you should. Trade the Trader. Um, this is a book completely based on understanding the psychology on the trader on the other side of your screen, right? It explains how the market is a zero-sum game, how for you, in order for you to make money, somebody else needs to lose. Um, it goes beyond the indicators, beyond the technical analysis, and it explains the trading business, right? That's very important. So I recommend it. Check it out. Read it. I actually got that book recommended by Humble Trader, which I'm going to see very soon. Me and some of the guys in the pod got invited to her podcast, so I'm very excited about that. Anyways, so Weedo, sat down and I tried my best not to trade it. I did took a trade on it. I did take a trade on it. Well, I guess I did not take a trade on it. I definitely took a trade very early on something. Weedo? I really didn't trade it. I'm actually feeling very proud of me not touching that shit. But there was another stock moving around at 7 a.m. that had already started at 5. It was a similar vibe, similar price range. I think this one was American. Okay, this one, CAPR. Yeah, this one. Um, this one I did trade and I lost on it right here. So we had this level of pre-market highs at the time, right? This happened at 4 a.m. Then this happened at 6:30 a.m. And then right here when we were curling up right at 7, I thought, well, this is exactly the type of stock I don't like trading, but check out this breakout from $8 to 9.50. It breaks out hard. So I jumped in on this green candle and stopped out. I was aware that I didn't like the setup, so my risk was very small on it, and I only lost $195. From there, I churned a bit on CGTL. Wasn't able to capture any good trades on it. It was a China stock with no news. Double top right here, and then I left it alone. Surge was another one that I didn't do quite well on. This one gave 1, 2, 3, four, almost 5 pullbacks. And I only have $26 to show for. I don't know. I just couldn't connect on it. I didn't like the fact that it was cheap as well. It was a 30-cent penny stock. My favorite penny stocks are the ones that are very close to 1, because when the closer you get to 1, the more of a magnet it becomes, and the more, the higher the likelihood of us going to touch it, at least test it, and see who the hell is sitting at 1. Those are my favorite pennies, which is similar to this one. That is looking very tempting right here, right? What I didn't like about this one is the daily chart. It really threw me off because when I was doing my daily analysis, I saw that it actually traded somewhat like a mid cap. This looks like the chart of a real life company that does real things. And then, I started digging a little deeper, went into the SEC filings, checked some of the fundamentals, checked the float and the market cap. And this thing was borderline a mid cap. It was definitely a mid cap when it was trading at $4. Right now, because it got like, destroyed, is borderline a penny stock. And well, it is a penny stock, but it's more of a small cap, mid cap. It's a large float, small cap right now. So I didn't like that. I know that I do the best on low floats, and it's just not the typical stock. So I was very skeptical when I traded it. I didn't trade it pre-market. It barely made it to my watch list. And I told the guys in the chat, if this thing can break over pre-market highs and hold, well, I guess I'm going to stab it. And that did happen. We blew through pre-market highs right at the open. And then I took some trades on this first retracement against VWAP. Right now it looks good, but just because it's Friday, and also because I don't like the storyline here. Well, I don't know what's up with that daily chart. Float is massive. The market cap is big as well. I don't know. I'm gonna skip it. And then anyway, so that was that one. But the one that really turned my day around was STKH. Let's take a peek at that. STKH. So on this one, when it first started popping up from 320s to like 470s, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna trade this. We have resistance from a few days, and I typically don't like trading day 2, day 3 continuation stocks. Like I said, I do the best when I trade a fresh stock that has breaking news right now, not something that moved yesterday or moved after hours or moved at 4 a.m. or moved like 3 days ago. It's like, no, something like fresh. So when they started popping up, I already was red on the day, and I was like, no, I'm not going to touch this. But then he blasted through this level, and I was like, well, here we go. Get ready for the biggest false breakout you're going to see in your life. And it didn't false break, and it kept on going. And then I scrolled again, and I saw this level right here, $7. I was like, $7. If this thing keeps on holding up, it might squeeze short sellers that are short against this level. So I pulled up the level 2, and I was like, wait a minute. Who are you? And I jumped in. I jumped in right underneath this resistance level that we had on August 26th. And the idea was anticipating the breakout of 7. And we did blast through 7. And I was using like very small risk, like newborn share size, cactus raw share size. And this thing exploded from $6 all the way up to 8. It blasted through 7. Bingo. I sold all. And you know what happened there again is, short sellers covering, right? So, I made like $1,000 in that trade. Finally went from red on the day to up like $1,000. And I was like, all right, this is it. I am done. Shifted gears into trying to walk away mode. But then this one did that at the open, and I was able to make another $700 on it. So, up 2,500 right now, taking the base hit week, up 25,000 on the month. Can't complain. I cannot complain. Finally getting my mojo back. Already out of the drawdown. Claws. I was very close to blowing up on Tesla, and I didn't. So close that swing. I closed it all today. I actually closed a nice chunk for break even, because my average started at 370, then I averaged down. It came down to like 350s, and then today we rallied at 350s, and I sold. I did lose overall, but not terrible. I'm still gonna hold. I have a few shares on another account that I'm gonna hold on Tesla, but this is fucking awful. Like it reminds me of this. So, we just need to reclaim the 200 EMA. And until that doesn't happen, I'm not gonna think on swings on this. But anyways, that's going to do it for the recap. Have a good weekend. If you want to join the chat room, if you want to learn the hyper scalping strategy, go into the description down below. We have a few links for all that. And if you're enjoying the daily recaps, leave a like, right? All right. It's been the Mighty. Have a good weekend, and goodbye.